Hey friends, so glad that you have tuned in this week. This is going to be a really special week. I have my favorite sister in the studio, Lesha Grimm. Hey, Lesha.
Hi.
You knew I was going to say that, right? Mm-hmm. Marla's not watching today, do you think?
I hope not.
So tell us about your family.
I'm married and I have one daughter.
Okay, Chris is your husband?
Yes.
And your daughter is Isabella?
Mm-hmm.
Elizabeth. Elizabeth probably is watching today, so we need to make sure that we acknowledge her.
Yes, yes.
And she's a senior at DBU, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That's right?
She wants to be a teacher.
Yeah, going to be what grade is she going to be in?
She's one in kindergarten, but now she's thinking second.
Second grade.
Yeah.
Do you remember your second grade teacher?
Yes, I do.
What was her name?
Mrs. Ashton.
Mrs. Ashton.
Mm-hmm.
The best teacher I ever had in school was my second grade teacher.
Who was it?
Name was Mrs. Hatfield.
I don't think she was there when I was there.
Yeah. Alicia's quite a bit, you're quite a bit younger than me, so.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Elizabeth had the privilege of knowing Granny and Pa.
Yes, she did.
Probably a little differently than the rest of the great grandchildren.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
She loved to go see them. We went and saw them about once a week, and we'd go over there and Granny fixed breakfast, and then we'd take her to the grocery store, and she'd take us to Taco Bell for lunch, and then we'd go wherever else she needed to go, Walmart, anywhere, just to spend time with her.
Yeah, Granny was a lot of fun to take shopping, right?
Mm-hmm. Talk to everybody there. That no matter if she knew them or not, she acted like she knew them.
I know.
And you ask them their names. I don't. Girl, I don't know their names.
And that was the key thing too, is that I didn't. Obviously, I started shopping with Granny very early. As a matter of fact, we were talking at Thanksgiving about Granny and Pa were from a very, very small farming community, Star, Texas. Mm-hmm. And then Pa took a job here in Fort Worth. And so I remember that Granny was afraid to drive downtown. So we would go down, she would drive down to Camp Bowie, and we would catch the bus stop there and then ride the bus downtown to go to store. Because, I mean, back then there weren't a lot of stores.
Right.
There weren't any, I mean, obviously there weren't any malls, but there weren't even any shopping centers. Mm-hmm. If you went shopping, you had to go downtown. So we would ride the buses down there, and of course you had the big picture windows, had the big displays in them. Of course, back then too, you had the Christmas catalog.
Oh yes.
Every year, you were
Montgomery Wards.
You were waiting for that Christmas catalog to come out. That was the unusual thing about the difference in Dallas and Fort Worth. In Dallas, it was Sears.
Oh
yeah. It was the Sears Christmas catalog. But if you lived in Tarrant County, it was Montgomery Wards. When's the Christmas wish book? When was it going to come out? And so I had a lot of fond memories of Granny and Pa, and it was cool that Elizabeth got to know them. And
yeah, she was real close to Granny. She was close to Pa, but he didn't talk much. But she was real close to Granny.
Yeah, that was one of the tough things with Pa there at the end. He didn't hear real well.
Oh, no, he didn't hear adults. If the little kids went and talked,
true. That's true.
He heard everyone.
That's true.
When we'd be over there,
That's
Isabella
true.
would barely touch him and wake him up. Pa, he'd say, yeah. Me and Granny talked to him. Huh?
Yeah.
He would never hear
That's
us.
true. Yeah, he always had a soft heart for the younger children. Mm-hmm. So great memories for sure.
Yep.
Your hubby is out in the lobby.
Yes.
Patiently
waiting.
Waiting for us.
Mm-hmm.
He unfortunately is a diehard Pittsburgh Steeler fan,
Yes.
which is kind of tough for those of us that live here in Dallas, right? Of course, he's from Pennsylvania, so I guess it's okay, right?
Right.
Kind of, sort of. He's a good man.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, the Lord definitely brought you a good husband.
Mm-hmm.
But he's had his share of health challenges, and
Yes, he sure has.
and still does today. Tell us about that journey.
It's a very tough journey.
Yeah.
It's a long journey. Recently, he's been doing a lot better. In 2007, yes, he went into cardiac arrest, and we were in Oklahoma, and we went to had to call 911. He had to be shot 19 times, and by the grace of God, he's still here.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Chris, he's had heart problems kind of pretty much his whole life, though. He still has 2 mechanical heart valves. And Chris has such a great sense of humor. He tells it. I think he's even said, "Hey, when there's something unusual," he said he even tried to get some of them to pay him because most of them never heard. I mean, they haven't used a mechanical valve, and I mean, like forever, you know.
Yeah, well, he has double, and now they won't do double. They just do one at a time.
Yeah.
But he sounds like a clock. Instead of a heartbeat, it's just click, 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 click.
So I forgot what percentage of his heart works now. No, it's very, very low.
I don't even know.
Yeah.
He's pacer dependent.
Yeah. He has a pacer, but he also has the unusual things. He also has a defibrillator.
Yeah, he has pacemaker and defibrillator both.
That just in case.
Yeah, that's not good either. It's good, but not good at the
Yeah.
same time.
But he's currently on the waiting list for a heart. I remember we were talking about Granny and Pa. It was when Granny was obviously the caretaker for Paul after he obviously our grandparents both lived to be really old, which is kind of a bonus since our parents died
Yes.
so young.
Yes.
Which is probably a conversation for another day.
That's what I was going to say.
But up until Paul was 92, I mean, he was gave you something to hope for. He was extremely healthy.
Mm-hmm.
One thing about being in his house, it was going to be warm, and it had nothing to do with whether it was summer or not.
Yes, even in the winter,
Yeah.
summer, whichever, it was 100 degrees in there.
Yeah, it was. He had that old Franklin.
His wood burning stove.
Yeah, he
Yes.
did. And we don't normally do this, but Chris, I forgot to set up our start today time, brother, so you help me with that.
Okay.
But he, I think he would burn, I don't know, maybe 3 cords of wood a winter. I mean, it was, but the crazy thing was he went out and cut that wood himself.
Mm-hmm.
Until he broke his hip. And then once he broke his hip, then that's when things
Yeah,
changed.
he couldn't do it. Yeah.
And that was when Granny kicked in and became the primary caretaker. And that worked. And probably until about the last 2 years.
Mm-hmm. When her sight started to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the last couple of years were not. Some people call those bonus years. I'm not so sure.
Yeah.
It was tough. But it was also during that time. That was when Chris was.
Yeah, so sick.
Yeah, very, very sick. Wasn't sure he's going to make through that part of the journey. And that's been, I don't know, it's been over 10 years. How long has that been? It's been over 10 years. Maybe.
I happened in 2007.
Oh, so it's been 15,
Yeah,
16
been
years.
a long time.
Yeah. He's still with us.
Yes, he is. Thank goodness.
But the journey has still been tough.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Lots of times in the hospital, out of the hospital.
Well, you go home and you think, it's fine. We're finally home. It's over. A few weeks later, a few days later, you're back.
Yeah. Yeah, the defibrillator and pacemaker is embedded in his chest, and he's very susceptible to infections. Yeah.
Yes.
And it's not like they're going to give him over-the-counter antibiotic, and
Right,
everything's
right.
going to be okay.
Yes,
right?
yes. He's on antibiotics now. He's been on 2 antibiotics by mouth since 2018 or 19, one of the two, that he's constantly on.
Yeah. Well, when he's in the hospital, he's, they're just trying to. I don't even know how. He said that defibrillator and pacemaker in and out so many times. I don't even know.
Oh, for sure. They said they can't do it again. They said they can't take another one out, put another one in. His body can't do it.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure that you guys
I'm not sure we can do
could
it
do it
again.
again.
No.
Right.
No, I don't.
If it wasn't for the Lord.
Yes, I don't say if it wasn't for the Lord, we've been done it so many times already.
Yeah, God's been good. Well, there are ladies that are they're watching today, or men, like myself. I went to that journey with Barbara. But there are people out there that have a spouse, and they're going, like, right now, one of the things that Granny and Paul did was, man, they made Christmas special, man.
Yes.
And
they
the
did.
strange thing was, it wasn't like they had money.
Well, no.
It's not like we didn't know,
To us, they did. Yeah,
But,
but then back then, you didn't know any better. Because
No, you
we
didn't.
grew up average middle class, and that's how it was.
Yeah, but they always made sure that Christmas was special. I remember that one of the unusual things about, of course, most Christmases were at Granny's, and of course at the last, I don't know, probably 15 or 20 years, they were all at their house.
Yeah, because they didn't drive anymore.
Yeah, they couldn't get out. But what was unique was that you knew somebody was going to show up that wasn't on the list.
Yeah, true.
And Granny would always have something.
Yeah, she
Stuck-
still had a present.
Yeah, she would. It wasn't unusual for the something to be wrapped, but if it wasn't, there always was something up in the closet. Mm-hmm. And you see her gone for a few minutes. Well, I knew what was going on. She's back there wrapping something
Yep.
For somebody.
Yep.
So, between that and the 1 year when she worked at Montgomery Ward's, Santa Claus didn't show up. So Granny she just jumped into the costume and she was Santa Claus that day, and so that's kind of who she was. And, always made Christmas so very special for everybody who came. It didn't matter who you were.
Right.
If you showed up, Christmas was going to be special. And so that was the way that we were raised.
Right.
And so I always thought Christmas was a really special time. I mean, obviously, it's Christ's birthday. And we're celebrating the birth of the Christ child. And I understand that. And not to negate from that. I mean, if it's not for his birthday, there's no Christmas.
Right.
But I've learned that even though Andy Williams has been singing for years, this is the most wonderful time of the year.
Mm-hmm. That's also a hard time of the year.
Yeah. I had just got a call yesterday. A man had been with us for probably close to 30 years. Supported us when most people are going, we don't really need you out here, No, we really don't want you out here, right? For his family, his 3 grandsons, it's going to be a tough Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a really tough Christmas. And so there are families out there right now that, I remember even Den, as one year we spent Christmas at the hospital when he was very, very young. So this isn't necessarily the most
Wonderful time of the
for
year.
everybody.
Right.
So if somebody there's people out there that are watching today, maybe they're going through the exact same thing as far as health. They've got a spouse or a child. What would you say to them that would encourage them to continue on?
Hang in there. Pray. Has to get better. even though their loved one may not even make it. You still have all those memories to live on or live through them.
Yeah. Yeah, somebody asked me, they said, this was leading up to Thanksgiving. They said, would you like to go to Granny's house for Thanksgiving? I said, I don't have to think about that.
Yes, I would.
Yeah,
I'd
of
like to go
course.
there Christmas, too.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was when they, after they died, I went in their house, and I had no idea. Once all the furniture and everything was out, I went, how did we all get in
I know.
here?
How do we squeeze in
I
there?
know. We didn't think anything about it.
You just got a little tighter.
It was.
There wasn't a new person.
It
new
was,
marriage. You just squeezed in more.
It was very, very tight. Some sit on the floor, you know. I mean, it's not like everybody's going to get around a table or something, you know.
Right.
So.
You don't realize maybe how special those times are until you don't have them.
True.
Or you take it for granted. Let's
No
say
question. No different than health.
That. Right.
When you have good health, you know, you don't think anything about it. I mean, you know, you think you're in trouble if you have a headache or
Right.
the flu hits you or cold or, you know, whatever. And then when things do get tough, or like if you are having to spend Christmas at a hospital.
Hospital, yeah.
Yeah. Or even more difficult, you're spending that time in a funeral home, you know, trying to figure out how am I going to get through that. You gave us some key things. I think one of the problems that we have as Christians is that we say well-meaning things, but they really don't have any substance. Sometimes even we say things and they're accurate, but it's not what people want to hear. Like, you know, one of the things that people say, I know how you feel. And my response, my thinking is,
No, you don't.
probably not.
Right.
Probably not.
You're blessed if you don't.
Yeah, probably not. Some things it's difficult to even explain, you know.
Right.
How you feel, or most likely they don't know how you got here. I mean, it's like for you and Chris, I mean, this didn't happen this year
Right.
or last year.
Right.
It's become a 16-year journey.
Until you live something like that, you don't know. You have no idea. Or you think you do until something else happens to you, and then you're like, oh, now I know how you feel. Yeah. But until that, you don't.
Right. Well, a lot of people, they say things like they understand or whatever. Maybe, maybe not.
Right. But sometimes they don't know what else to say.
Yeah.
So they say stuff
That's
like
true.
that.
Yeah, you know, my encouragement to people that are struggling today with not just the holidays. I mean, that's just kind of a... You're probably already here already, right?
Right.
And then it's up to here.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes all you can do is trust the Lord for today.
Exactly.
And sometimes all you can do is trust Him for the next hour.
Exactly. Some mornings you would get going through all that with Chris. I'd get up and go, I don't want to go today.
Yeah,
I just want to stay here.
yeah,
And then you go, okay, if I can make it through the next hour, if I can make it till lunch, if I can make it till dinner. And then the next day is usually better. But until you get to that point, there's that one day that you're like, I can't do it today.
yeah. I woke up more than one day and went, I can't do this today. But God. Lesha, every day I try to give a nugget to those who come, something that they can share. And the verse I had as I knew we were getting together today, 2 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 3, says, all praise to God, the Father of our Lord Jesus Christ. God is our merciful Father and the source of all comfort. So you already gave us the key to walking through a difficult journey with a loved one. and that's prayer. The hard part about that is that when you pray, the prayer will be answered, but it might not be the way that you want it to be.
Yes.
Yeah, or definitely. The Bible teaches us our timing is not necessarily, and probably not
God's timing.
God's timing.
That's very true.
It's actually been pretty cool to see what the Lord has done through Chris these last 16 years. I'm sure he's asked, I wonder where I would be if what's happened to me hadn't happened to me.
Right.
I've seen him many times. The people that come in to serve him at the hospitals, it's like an open door, Particularly some of them, they walk in and think they have problems, and after they get to know him, they're going, gee, I don't have any problems at all,
Yeah. I've told him before, if you think you're having problems, because when he was at HEB, the ICU was right across the walkway from there, and I'd go get a cup of coffee or something, and I'd see those other people in there losing their loved ones, and I'm like, okay, this is not as bad as I thought it was. Oh, you'd be worse.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I have spent many a times in hospitals and been there when loved ones, went to be with the Lord. And it definitely puts a little different perspective on life.
Yes.
Even for those that this year as we're getting ready for Christmas, when you realize that that was one of the challenges with Pa and Granny every year. I was going every year for, I don't even know how many years. I was going, is this the last one?
Yeah.
Is this the last one? When you start thinking that way, gives you a whole different appreciation and perspective.
Right, you don't take it for granted as much.
Exactly. Yeah, you're going, this is not going to be for us forever. Hey, Lesha, you know that Lord's laid on our heart to build this new facility for Dallas Metro, and our dream is to do it absolutely debt-free. There's a lot of people out there right now, they're trying to figure out, okay, what am I going to do for Christmas? And are trying to figure out, okay, where am I going to invest my end-of-the-year money, whatever. Why would you tell them they should partner with Dallas Metro and help us to build these facilities absolutely debt-free?
Y'all help so many families, children. I mean, I've watched the other podcasts. I've watched the kids who have grown up in their ministry, and they definitely would not be where they're at now if it wasn't for y'all. So I would say they need to support you to help all the children grow up to be Christians, have better lives, become better people.
Yeah. It's amazing what the Lord has done here in Dallas. I obviously, I grew up in Arlington when Arlington was a very small town, not like it is now.
Yeah, it's huge now.
Yeah. The Lord spoke to us, Barbara and I, about going to Dallas and planning here. And all we've tried to do for the last 35 years is to be faithful. And the result of that is the Lord has allowed us to reach tens of thousands. And the truth of the matter is we've actually got to preach the gospel to hundreds of thousands of children over the last 35 years. And so now he has raised up this new generation of leaders you were talking about, kids that have grown up in our ministry. They're not kids anymore. They're still kids to me.
Right.
But they're young adults now. They're already leading. And we need to put a tool in their tool belt they don't have, and that's long-term facilities, and it needs to be absolutely debt-free. So glad that you came today.
Well, thank you for having me.
My favorite sister.
Yes.
Yes, Marla, that's correct. She did slip me some money and promised me a very special gift under the Christmas tree today. Hey, we're so glad that you guys joined with us. Thanks for this has kind of been family time for Lesha and I. We're so glad that you joined with us. If you're struggling today, go to our webpage, dallasmetro.org, and just send me an email. And we'll be glad to take and pray with you or your family about this Christmas season, about what's taking place in your life, your family. We still serve a God of miracles. Whatever your miracle is, He's still in the miracle business. And also, when you go to that webpage, would you click on All In? That's what the campaign is called. And then click on what is All In, and you're going to see all these beautiful pictures that Michael Cathcart, our architect, has put together for us. And then would you prayerfully consider giving a one-time gift, or would you consider giving us a monthly gift during the entire year of 2024? We're believing God for a miracle. We're believing that He wants to use you to be a part of it. Thanks for joining with us. I'll see you next week. God bless you.